Hidden within the sun-drenched banks of the Gila River lies a miniature predator so fast and efficient that it challenges our very understanding of the natural world. Squatting on a sandy riverbank in New Mexico, a strange scene unfolds as a pack of Western Red-Bellied Tiger Beetles dismantles a dead frog. These insects are barely a third of an inch long, yet through binoculars, they are monsters of a hidden realm. They possess sickle-shaped mandibles that scythe through flesh like a chef sharpening knives. Their bodies are a riot of iridescent color, flashing red, green, blue, and gold under the desert sun. Suddenly, they vanish, only to reappear a moment later, staring back with large, bulging eyes that suggest a curious, almost inquisitorial intelligence. Tiger beetles are not for the faint of heart. These are the world's fastest-running insects, with some species clocked at over 5 miles per hour. They run down prey like ants and spiders, grab them with terrifying mouthparts, and drench the victim in digestive juices to suck up the resulting puree. After a successful hunt, they perform a self-congratulatory push-up known as stilting, lifting their bodies on long legs to escape the heat of the ground. This is the world of the tiger beetle, a world that remains largely mysterious despite the abundance of the creatures themselves. This mystery is where the citizen scientist enters the frame. Citizen science is the work of unpaid, non-professionally trained individuals who dedicate their time to monitoring the natural world. From tracking juniper pollen and kestrel migrations to cataloging the shapes of distant galaxies, these volunteers are changing the face of modern research. Over 500,000 people have participated in online programs, while others use video games to help biochemists synthesize new proteins. Even NASA relies on school-aged observers to validate satellite data. This is a return to the roots of science. Even Charles Darwin relied on a vast network of amateurs, including vicars and shopkeepers, to gather the observations that fueled his theories. Today, professionals like David Pearson, a world expert on tiger beetles, openly admit that many areas of traditional biology have been turned over to these dedicated amateurs. One such amateur set out to solve a specific riddle: the life cycle of the Western Red-Bellied Tiger Beetle, or Cicindela sedecimpunctata. While common in the southwest, its larval biology remained a complete blank in the field guides. No one knew what kind of soil they preferred, what the larva looked like, or how long it took for them to transition from egg to adult. The journey to find these answers begins with the hunt. Catching a tiger beetle requires the patience of a Tai Chi master and the stalking movements of a great blue heron. You must move with the flow of the riverbank, inching forward to avoid casting a shadow that would send the high-energy insect bolting. The technique is a delicate balance between a slow-motion approach and a sudden, violent slam of the net. Even then, the beetle often escapes before the mesh hits the sand. When a capture is successful, the insect is transferred to a jar, its mandibles snapping, a tiny powerhouse of predatory instinct. For the researcher, this process is a gateway to a kind of rapture. There is a tangible solace in the beauty of the world, the shifting colors of the sky, the roll of the land, and the sudden flash of a beetle in the sun. It is an entrance into a perfect, harmonious world where every creature has its place. This connection is fueled by pattern recognition. When you learn to distinguish the 7 creamy dots of a Western red-bellied beetle from the 4 dots of an ocellated tiger beetle, something in the brain snaps into place. It is a unique satisfaction that feels like coming home to a Paleolithic competence we are hardwired to possess. Back in the home laboratory, the study moves from the riverbank to the terrarium. The mating habits of tiger beetles are as intense as their hunting. A male courts a female by leaping on her back and gripping her neck with his mandibles. The female often struggles to throw him off, a test of strength that ensures only the fittest males pass on their genes. Once the eggs are fertilized, the female performs a vertical dance, digging into the soil with her ovipositor to lay oval-shaped eggs in secret, subterranean chambers. The responsibility of the citizen scientist is heavy. Maintaining the perfect level of soil moisture is a constant source of anxiety. Is the heat lamp too hot? Is the soil pH correct? These questions haunt the researcher in the middle of the night. But the reward comes in the form of tiny, circular holes in the dirt, no larger than those made by a small drill bit. These are the burrows of the first instars. To see a first-stage larva is to witness something no one else on the planet has documented. They are pale, armored creatures with the same scissoring mouthparts as the adults and strange hooks on their backs that anchor them in their tunnels. From these burrows, they lunge out like monsters from a movie to drag prey into the depths. Feeding them involves the meticulous dissection of mealworms, dropping tiny fragments into the holes with forceps. It is a labor of love that bridges the gap between raw data and emotional connection. As the seasons change, the adult beetles disappear from the riverbanks, leaving behind only the tracks of bobcats and the blooming of sacred datura. The search for larval holes in the wild continues, a task for the next field season. But the work is already bearing fruit. By filling in the blank spots on the map, the citizen scientist proves that science and love are often the same thing. We look at nature as if into a mirror, discovering our own ideas of beauty and meaning in the life of a white grub with horrific mouthparts. This is the essence of the human experience, to be newly engaged with the world, to match patterns, and to realize our place within the ecosystem. Whether it is a dentist in Ohio or a schoolteacher in Tasmania, every observation counts. We are all capable of becoming newly engaged with the world at any moment. The call of citizen science is a reminder that there is always something more to be, something more to see, and a deeper relationship to forge with the environment around us. Science is not just the domain of the professional but a love letter to the world written by anyone willing to stop, look, and wonder. Thanks for watching.